Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Friday. We made it, almost made it. One more day. No news Friday. It's been a crazy week with price action. That's been, I don't know. I don't know how you guys felt, but yesterday I felt price action was pretty hard. I have some thoughts on that. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Everything looks okay in the stream this morning. Good morning, XMT89. Good morning, VPGM. Good morning, Trina. Happy Friday. Okay, I'm just saw the charts late last night or early this morning, and I'm just putting in the final preps for this morning. So I'll just walk you through basically what I'm doing here. Okay, we had a big move down last night, and we have this really nice opening range gap, which is settlement price from yesterday until opening price this morning, but I'll keep making adjustments to it until the market opens. But it's a good size gap, and it's a price is at or just below it. I'm just going to mark in my London highs. London high here. I'm going to mark in my London low. Mark in my Asia high. And my Asia low. Okay, so now we've got pre-market in. I've got my midnight. So here's my midnight vertical line and my midnight horizontal line. And we can see if we go down to the 5 minute, we can see that price for the majority of the overnight, we have been below midnight. And I just use this as a little confluence. I learned this method of watching midnight at midnight from Mulham Trading. Mulham Trading is a great trader. You can check him out. He trades London and Asia and teaches how to trade London and Asia. So this gives me perhaps just a little confluence that price might find its bottom, and then price will move above midnight later today. There's no guarantee, but that's how I use midnight at midnight. Um, Okay, I've got a previous day low from Thursday already on my chart, previous day low, previous day high, previous day high from Thursday. Look at that. Look at the range of price here. So previous day high from yesterday, previous day low from yesterday. Let's take a look at the daily chart. I think we can all agree that we're in a bearish trend. Let's just take a closer look. You know, when you zoom out and you take a look at what price action has been doing, you realize how difficult trading has been. Like, look at this mess. There's no fair value gaps. There's no clear areas of inefficiencies in the market. It's price has been in this sort of tight range. It's been tough. It's been a tough week to trade. Here is our Monday candle. Then Tuesday we went lower. Wednesday we came back up. Thursday was basically a doji candle. You know, we moved up, we moved down. And then Friday overnight, we've been dropping lower. What I have done is on the hourly, let's go to the 4 hour first. On the 4 hour, because we're in a bearish trend, I have put on my chart any 4 hour and 1 hour lows because that seems to be the trend that we're heading in. So I just want to be prepared for where price may drop to today or Monday. Doesn't have to necessarily be today. And then we have our Asia high, Asia low, London high, London low. Let's just go to the 1 hour. You can see this is an area down here. and I've put my 1 hour daily low wicks. You have a previous weekly low down here as well. So it's good to put your previous week high and previous week low on your chart. So once you have all your main levels on your chart, you just adjust them every evening. It doesn't take more than 5 minutes to do. And then your chart is always up to date. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Just go back to 1 hour for a second. I like to put in my fair value gaps. Here is my hourly SIBI, this pink one here. Stretch it out for you here. I like to put on my fair value gaps what time frame it is. This is my hourly SIBI there. Then anyone who was on a call with me yesterday afternoon and we talked about highs and lows, I like to put on my chart the hourly high and the hourly low. And you can see that here is my hourly high. So we have an up candle followed by a down candle. So that gives us our hourly high. And then our hourly low is here. We have a down candle followed by an up candle. So that's our hourly high, hourly low. And I like to keep that on my chart and freshen that. Okay, what else do I have here? Into the 15-minute. On the 15-minute, we notice that this is a significant area point of interest, I'll call it, which is where we are currently at. Just a little bit lower. Just put my line here in the middle on the 15-minute. Label this 15-minute. This was a significant area where price tapped and retapped and retapped and retapped. So I want to highlight this on my chart because price is in this vicinity. So we might see some chatter here and we might see a reversal here, but we don't know. We wait and we read price and we read what price gives us. Okay, we'll move down to the 5-minute. And let's look on the 1 minute and we'll look for buy side and sell side on the smaller time frame. So here's our opening range gap, this orange thing here. I make my PD rays the same colors so that I don't, I'm not changing colors every day. I use the same colors. I just like that consistency. So here we have our hourly SIBI in place. And let's draw in a buy side and sell side. And a buy side here. This 15-minute line that I just added in on the 15-minute time frame, I'm just going to leave that as my sell side for now. And then we have this big opening range gap. Let's put in our 9:30 open. Let's just check the calendar again, make sure we haven't missed anything. I like to check every day, a couple times a day actually, because I've noticed that sometimes things get added to the calendar last minute, like Trump speaking, that can really affect the market. So we don't really have anything. 9:05, we have FOMC member Williams speaks, but I don't put much weight on that. Okay. We'll take a look at ES. And I'm just going to make it bigger so I can just take a look at the big picture here, just faster. Let's look on the 4-hour. So we've been in a downtrend. This is on the 4-hour. Just going to mark a high on the 4-hour. Yeah, I'm going to mark low. So I'm going to put in a 4-hour SIBI here. It's an imbalance. Also notice here on ES, and it'll be the same on NQ. We'll just take a quick look at that in a few minutes. Could possibly be a bearish breaker forming. To show you what I mean by that. This is what I'm looking at. High, low, higher high. If this goes a little lower, what that means is potentially price could pull back into the breaker and then move lower. So I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. That's what it would look like. High, low, higher high, lower low. Move up into the breaker, move down, possibly. Let's go check that out actually. I'll just take these off. I just put this on so that everybody maybe who's not as familiar with breakers can identify them. That's what it looks like to me on the 4-hour. Let's just go to the 1-hour. Let's put in our fair value gaps. Okay, and we can see the same thing that we just identified on NQ, this area down here as being a strong area. It's hit multiple touches. We're just going to add this as well. This is an area of interest, a point of interest. I'm just going to call this just for now sell side. The 1-hour. So that's an interesting area there. If we break below, let's just add another area of interest down here. This would be on the hourly. And then we have the 4-hour low below that. price, and we'll just leave it there for now. Okay, so those are our charts marked up. One last thing I want to check is new week opening gaps and new day opening gaps on NQ. I used to draw these in by, by one at a time, but now I use the indicator because it's just kind of nice. It's the indicator that ICT, I won't say recommended, but pointed out to us in this video, and it's ICT NWOG/NDOG by FADI, FADI, and that's the one that ICT uses, and that's the one that I use. And it's nice because it gives the dates, which is really nice. It gives the high and low dates. So let's take a look. So here we have a new day opening gap from March 18th, new day opening gap, 18th and the 20th. We've already run through that. Just looking below, we don't really have anything below. Okay, it's 9:27, just keeping an eye on time here. Okay. As always, I will be looking for the first 5-minute candles. I use Scarface's strategy in the morning. First 5-minute candles to find the high and the low of the 5 minutes, and then waiting for a break and retest above or below. Also be looking at the opening range gap. I'm going to turn the new day opening gap off just for now, just so that we have less on the charts. But just note to self that there's nothing below here at this point because price hasn't been below here. We're kind of we've been at these lows for a while. Okay, here we go. I have to change my SMT divergences, and I'm going to do that now because I'm on the new. Have to give this a break. Sometimes it doesn't come up all the time. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put in the new symbols because I've changed dates. So we want mini futures June and Q. NQM 2025. NQM 2025. And then the other one I want ES. And I want ESM 2025. ESM 2025. And that's how you change or how you program into your divergence. Make sure it's up to date. Okay, that's it. You're ready to go for the day. Okay, 9:30 markets open. This is my 9:30 candle, so I'm just going to move this vertical line over by one candle, but just know that this is the 9:30 opening candle. I'll just mark my lowing for now. Make adjustments to the opening range gap. Now we'll drop a fib on that to give us our quadrants. I have all my settings preset. It's very helpful. There we go. There's candle number 1 printed, candle number 2, and candle number 3 is printed. And over here you can see how much time is left before the candle closes. We have 19 seconds left. We have the high of the 5-minute range so far and the low of the 5-minute range so far. And I'll be looking for first fair value gap. And the last 5-minute candle is printing in this range or group of opening 5-minute candles. Again, it's Scarface's strategy. It's the break and retest of the 5-minute candle strategy. And I'm committed to watching it, monitoring it, trading it for 6 months. I'm in around month 3 now of using it. It takes time to get used to a new strategy and to become good at it. So I give myself some grace because out of my trading, my most losses are on this strategy. And it's not because the strategy doesn't work. It takes time to become competent in a strategy. It can take, like, depending what the strategy is, but give yourself at least 6 months. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our 5 candles printed now. So here is our high, here is a low. And we just wait for price to break below or above either side. Then we wait for a retest. This is not a signal service. I am an ICT student. No one should copy my trades. You should all rely on yourselves because you're all incredibly intelligent, resilient individuals who can make your own decisions. So don't rely on anybody else. Do what's right for you and for your circumstances. I've got this previous week low here. That's a big think that's 300 points below. So I'm gonna be a little bit patient here. This red candle is our demarcation on that range of candles to our left that was an area of interest. So here's our 5-minute candle low. Now, I remember what ICT says that our opening range gap, there's a 70% chance that price will move to the 50% range between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. So my bias confluence using the opening range gap is a little more bullish. That's my bias, a little more bullish this morning because of this gap. I'm not saying that I'm bullish. Don't misinterpret me. I mean, we're obviously bearish, but I'm saying that this is a confluence that I would use to guide my trading this morning for the next half an hour. Hi, Graceful Trade Journeys. Hi, Tandy. Just marked up my chart with my 5-minute Scarface, 5-minute low, my 5-minute high, and also what we talked about yesterday in our group, my low and my high. Just seeing which direction price wants to go in. We've got a big opening range gap. Price had a big move down overnight. So these are all things that I'm kind of thinking about. XMT, ICT says on no news days, price can be muddy for the first hour, then can clean up after 10:30. Not always, but oftentimes. Thank you, XMT. I appreciate that. I appreciate your contributions. Jamie, last Friday low, 576.50. Okay, I've got previous week low at 19,351. Again, for anyone who was with me on yesterday's call, I've got my high marked here, I've got my low marked here, and I'm using that as just information confluence to watching candles and reading price. Again, I'm just breaking the high here, but we need to close above, right? So we still have 28 seconds before this candle closes. Also bearing in mind that I'm on the 1-minute chart, right? So when trends change on the 1 minute, like it's a very low time frames, and trends can change on a dime on the 1 minute. So I like the 5-minute break of structure. But for now, I'm just watching the 1 minute because I'm doing the Scarface strategy. So here's my high broken. Here's my high. Here's the candle that broke my high. So far, ES is in sync with NQ this morning. One of the things that I've had to be mindful in my trading of is to, if I'm using a strategy, I have to stick with that strategy. And because I see so many things on the chart, opening range gap, I've got my high and my low here. I'm sticking with my Scarface 5 minute candle high and low, even though I see a break of structure here on the 1 minute to the upside, but I have to be careful that I'm not switching strategies on an ad hoc basis. I'm forcing myself to be true to one strategy, because if you keep switching strategies, you'll never find that consistency. So I'm being very true to the 5 minute break and retest strategy for a minimum 6 months, even though I'm seeing lots of things here. And sometimes you just need to take that brain and just say, okay, this is the strategy I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to block out all the other things that I see. Sometimes, like, more knowledge, yeah, is obviously a good thing, but you have to be able to separate the wheat from the chaff and focus on the one thing that you're focused on. And for me, it's the 5 minute opening range candle. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe everyone can chime in and let me know if you guys see like 5 different things. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Let's take a look at the first presented fair value gap. Yep, thank you. Thank you for that reminder. That is a nice confluence break of structure here as well. High, low, higher, high, forming a breaker. High, low, higher, high. We would come back into the breaker and move up. Not there yet. Dipping into the fair value gap. Movement up. Got our new high up here. got an up candle, then a down candle, and our new low is here. Down candle and an up candle. Here's our PD array, see if it holds. All we're doing is looking for PD arrays and determining whether the PD array holds or disrespects. This fair value gap is holding. We're in our opening range gap. We haven't yet come to the 5-minute high of Scarface strategy. But I do like this fair value gap holding here. It's a good sign. And let's see if this candle breaks our high. If it closes above, then we would be making higher lows and higher highs. Hey Gonzalo, there's a huge fair value gap in the 15-minute candles. We all have that, have faced that switching strategies. Yeah, yeah, we have. It can do a disservice, you know, like knowledge is strength. At some point you do have to make a commitment to a strategy and say, this is what I'm trading. High, low. I haven't got that higher high yet. Just put that on the chart for you guys to see. Breaker block. Not yet. We're not there yet. That would be our high. Low. If we could get a higher high, it would be over here. I made some adjustments to my microphone. Could you guys let me know if there's less background noise? Let me know if it's better. I've had to just fool around with the settings of the microphone because last week it was like literally picking up everything. Okay, let's see if this candle closes above the most recent high. Again, indicating a higher trend. Oh, great. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, Gonzalo. Thanks, Jamie. That's good to know. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not yet closed above the most recent high. This is not a signal just because I have a limit order down here. I'm not looking to buy down here. I want to be perfectly clear. I just sometimes, if I'm anticipating something, I might drop something on my chart. And this is, I move positions up or down, but this is not a buy limit for down here. So please do your own thing when it comes to actual trading. This is not a signal service and I'm not making any recommendations. I'm an ICT student for life. So I'm just going to move this up for my team who was on the call yesterday. Here's my new low. Here's my high. See if we break above it with strength. Here's my 5-minute. Scarface candle. Oh, thanks, XMT. Appreciate your feedback. Thank you. It's 9:50. Price is trying to break above its 5-minute Scarface candle high level here. So for his strategy, we want to see price break above, come back and retest, and then with strength, move high again. So I'll be looking for a retest. And I'm going to take that as a looking to see if price would come up to the 50% mark of this opening range gap. Okay, price has rejected and come right back down. In the macro, 954. Let me see a break above this high. looking at this breaker. So high, low, higher, high. This would be the breaker. I don't want to put too much on my chart, but I just wonder if price might come back down to this first fair value gap. Hi, Squinto. Good morning. I don't like this price action when it comes to Scarface strategy. Like I want to clear displacement, come back and retest, and then move up. This has come back down into the range. It's been up and down, so I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait, and I want to see if price would come back down. Oh no, Squinto, lost all your funded this week? Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Oh, that's rough. Yesterday was very tricky trading, and I'm just looking at price action here, and it just kind of the same, very wicky, very few fair value gaps. It's not nice clean price action. So it's 559. I'd like to see price drop back at least to the equilibrium. So if we just take our GAN box from low to high, this is our 50%. So I'd like to see price come at least back to the 50% range. going to flip to the 5 minutes. Zoom out and get a little perspective here. Here's my high on the 5 minutes. Here's my low on the 5 minutes. That would be my 5 minute break of structure to the upside. And this would be my 5 minute break of structure to the downside. This price action is identical to yesterday. It's just wiki, no fair value gaps. And I definitely learned from yesterday, don't get involved in this price action for me, for my circumstances. I don't speak for anyone else. I was journaling last night and I was trying to rather than just say, oh, price action was really tough yesterday, those are the days I'm just not going to get involved. I thought rather than thinking that way, how could I come up with a strategy that would work in that type of price range while protecting my capital and potentially allowing me to be profitable. And what I came up with was something that we had discussed here, I think it was last week, is to move to micros and allow myself to reduce position size and have a larger stop loss. Because yesterday price action was just retracing, and the same thing is happening here today. And it's too difficult for me personally to have a really big stop loss with minis, but I could have a larger stop loss with micros. So that's what I was journaling last night. So instead of just writing the day, the morning off and saying this is difficult, price, how can I adjust my strategy to work with this type of price action? Anyway, that was the idea that came to mind yesterday in my journaling. So as I'm watching this, because it's identical to yesterday, I think the micro strategy, when I have this kind of price action, would work better for me. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of that. This is still my break of structure on the 5 minute. Even on the 5 minutes, it's ugly. Here's my high. I would need price to break above this for a break of structure. And then my low is actually here. Here's my down candle and up candle, and my break of structure to the downside would be here. So here's my 5-minute break of structure to the upside, 5-minute break of structure to the downside. So I'm really not going to do anything until I have a break of structure either way. Now that I have that on my chart, I can go back to the 1 minute. Very choppy. This candle here on the 1 minute, this candle, is a sweep of liquidity, and so this would be my order block right here. Wonder if price would come down, revisit the fair value gap, and then move higher. I don't know, I'm surmising. Here's my 5-minute break of structure, downside. And I'm just tape reading. Tape reading this morning. I look at this and I learned my lesson from yesterday. Don't get involved. Let's just move again to the 5-minute so that we can really see this break of structure here on the 5-minute. Right, so here's my down candle and my up candle. So here's my 5-minute break of structure to the downside. Tapped into that order block. Here's my new 5-minute break of structure. My up candle followed by my down candle on the 5-minute. So we've broken structure to the downside, but we're going to wait for the candle to close. I'm going to go back to the 5-minute. So for this to be a true 5-minute break of structure, this candle has to close below this 5-minute. This is for my team yesterday. We did a little workshop on order flow, 5-minute break of structure. I know for those that are here in the live session this morning that they're marking up their charts, looking for that 5-minute break of structure too, just following order flow. So here's my 5-minute high, candle up, followed by candle down, and then my low. Candle down followed by candle up. 5-minute break of structure. But this candle has not closed yet. It still has 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So it's not a break of structure to the downside until that candle closes. And it may not close. Like, it's tapped into the fair value gap. It's in the order block. It could just, reverse and zoom up. XMT MicroStrategy is great. Micros give so much flexibility with scaling out. I agree. Also on high restriction resistance days, I place my stop at the swing point. Exactly, XMT. So that's what I was journaling last night. I think that's the way to go on days like this. I'd switch to my micro account, but I don't have my chart marked up, so I'm just gonna kind of sit tight here. But I think if this kind of price action continues into next week, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch to micros. And it's nice to be able to pyramid out as well. You reduce your risk. Okay, so on the 1 minute, we've tapped into the fair value gap and the order block. Here is my 5-minute break of structure on the 5-minute. So I would want to see a 5-minute break of structure before even thinking about price going long. Right now, it's just a big mess, really. No news Friday. Who was it at the very beginning of our live stream said that ICT said when there's no news Friday, that often it can take until 10:30. I'm just scrolling back to see who said that. Here we go, XMT. ICT says on no news days, price can be muddy for the first hour and then can clean up after 10:30. It looks like that's holding true, XMT. So thanks for dropping that in the chat this morning. So on the 1 minute, we've tapped into the order block. We've tapped into the fair value gap. Let's see if we can break structure above this 5-minute here. Time is 10:15. We're in the kill zone. I'm going to go back to the 5 minutes, just make sure that that indeed is still my break of structure point. High, then a low. Yep, that continues to be my 5-minute break of structure. And that is coincidentally right at the previous day low. So that's a major level. So we had this big drop down, push up, but look at these wicks, like really, really difficult to stay in a trade or even take a trade because your stop loss needs to be so large to not get wicked out. Doesn't work for me. Anyway, let's wait patiently. Patience is indeed the most desirable trait or quality as a trader. And it does not come naturally to me. It is my nemesis. I'm not above, you know, admitting that. Anybody else? Anybody else have problems with patience? And I'm going to check my 5 minutes here, make sure that my low is still. So low followed by a high. Oh, I got a new low. Okay, down here. Low followed by a high. So this is my 5 minute break of structure down here. My number one flaw. Tandy, you are perfect. You have no flaws. Okay, we're coming up to the 5 minute break of structure. See, it's rejecting off the 5 minute break of structure, rejecting off the previous day low. Just give it some time. It's only 10:19. Even our potentially bullish breaker is weak, like low, high, lower low. We don't have a higher high yet. See, low, high, lower low. We don't have a higher high yet. Everything is everything is just chop schlop. So while we are waiting for price to determine where it wants to go, how about everybody drop in the comment section what you've got going on for this weekend? Anything exciting? Anything fun? Anybody studying ICT videos? There's no lack of those. I could keep you occupied for the next 40 hours. No, overall, this is just a big range. Price is non-committal at this point. So we just wait patiently for a break either way. 5 minute break to the downside or 5 minute break to the upside. Wait for price to show some commitment. Sounds like a bad dating situation, eh? Waiting for someone to commit. Oh man, going to the beach this weekend. Wouldn't that be nice? We had some snow overnight, so I don't think I'll be looking for a beach anytime soon, but I'm jealous. Trina, you're going to see if you can get a trade on your phone. That's nice. It's always exciting getting new technology. I had my dog out, Pie out early this morning. He's got spring fever like crazy. So I let him off leash and he just ran like, I don't know, who holds the world record right now in the 100-meter sprint. That's what he was running like that. I just stood still and he was just like going crazy. XMT, you guys are going to a gun show? Awesome. Oh, that sounds fun. I'm up here in Canada, so it's yeah. no gun zone kind of thing. Imagine like we're up here in Canada, we have like grizzly bears and stuff, but all we can carry is like grizzly bear spray. Which is why I don't hike in grizzly bear territory, if I need to say that. Let's go back to the 5 minutes. Let's take a look here. Now, if I wasn't with you guys, I would have 4 screens up, and I would have my hourly 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and 1 minute. I look at 4 screens when I'm trading by myself. That's nice, Trina. Gardening? Oh, that's nice. Okay, so look, guys, we're breaking above the 5 minute. Now we have to wait for the candle to close, so not get excited yet. We still have 1 minute, 52 seconds, but we are breaking above this 5 minute break of structure. It's kind of nice to follow what we were learning yesterday, right? So let's go back to the 1 minute because we know that this 5 minute on my chart here is valid. And let's see if this candle can remain closed above. That would be our first indication perhaps that price just see what this is. Hourly low. I'm going to remove this. So previous day low. Here's our previous day low. We've got a fair value gap. To the upside. So we've got a previous day low, fair value gap, and we have indeed broken structure to the upside on the 5 minute break of structure candle. Again, I'm just reading price here. Approaching the 50% mark of the opening range gap. I would be curious, and I am watching to see if price would come back to this 5 minute candle high, reject and move higher. Or I'm watching previous day low because this is a major point of interest. Price could also come back to previous day low, do a break and retest and go higher. And we have a fair value gap that coincides with that. So I'm speaking out loud here. Let's see if that 5 minute break of structure can hold. Break of structure. You guys really help me with my trading because I speak out loud to myself. Optimal trade entry. Let's take a look at that, Jamie. I'm kind of liking I'm kind of liking this right now. I could be wrong. I'm often wrong, but break of structure. Oh my goodness, come on. See, if I was with micros, I could give this a little more space. No, I need to trade with micros in this market here because this, well, it's showing bullishness for sure. Let's see. Go one more time. This is my last trade of the day. No, this is just ugly. No, ugly, ugly. No, I'm done for today. Yeah, it's just I think I need to trade with micros. Jamie, let's just take a look at OTE. If we took OTE from, I'm going to take it from this high, Jamie. I don't know if you're taking it from London, but I would take it from this high. Optimal trade entry from there to there. 62% to 79. And then a reversal. Yeah, you could be right, Jamie. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Optimal trade entry. Yep. This might turn into an inverted fair value gap here. Inverted fair value gap. Look how wiki all this price action is, you know, it's the absolute same thing as yesterday. When are we going to get some good, clean price action? Yesterday afternoon, I took a couple of trades, uh, inverted fair value gap, somewhere around between 2 o'clock and 2:30, I think it was. And that was some nice, clean um, price dropping in rather quickly. And let me just take a quick look for that yesterday. Let's just go back to the 5 minute. I'll just show you what I mean. Just while price here is banging around doing nothing. Let's go to Thursday. Here's Thursday at 2 o'clock. I think it was around 2 o'clock. Yeah, here. Thursday. Let's drop down to the 5 minute for a second. Okay, so here's Thursday, 2 o'clock. So I got in on some of this. Thursday, 2 p.m. Anyway, I took, just find it. It would have been here. 2 p.m. Sorry, it's right here. Thursday, 2 p.m. in here. Thursday, 2 p.m. Price started dropping here, came back up, dropped, and then dropped down here to 4:30. So anyway, I got some of this movement in here. This was like some of the cleanest price action, but price was really um, repainting. But anyway, I managed to get like a few good trades in yesterday. Not much. Here we are still hanging out in this fair value gap. Chop to the upside, chop to the downside. I mean, it's holding, but 5 minute break of structure is still holding. Let's go back to the 5 minute break of structure. Here's my current high, and here's the high before that. So candle up, candle down. Here's my high. This is the break of structure here. So we are still, that 5 minute break of structure still holds. If I have micros, I perhaps would take a look at a long position here, but I don't, so I'm not going to. And then my 5 minute break of structure for the low side. So here's my candle down followed by my candle up. So price is making higher lows and higher highs, well, higher lows right now. But here's my new 5 minute break of structure, candle down followed by candle up. So if we break below and close below this 5 minute break of structure, we are officially change of trend to the downside again. Here's the 5 minute break of structure. Well, I was really hoping for some better price action this morning, but I'm not a fan of Friday afternoon trading. I find Friday afternoon trading it can be pretty, pretty volatile. but with this type of price action, ugh. Mm. I gotta go back to the 5. Oh, price might be breaking structure to the downside. 5-minute break of structure. 15 seconds left on this candle. And I'm not getting involved in this price action, but I'm just tape reading here. Broken structure to the downside. We did not break structure to the downside. This candle still has 2 minutes and 58 seconds in it, this 5-minute candle. Inverted fair value gap on the 1 minute. 10:43. I think we'll call this morning session to a close shortly because, well, quite frankly, there's just better things to do in life than sit here and watch this mess. And it's Friday. Friday, fun day. Look at ES. It looks like it's just in like seizure mode. Absolutely ranging, doing nothing. Well, we did get 50% of the gap filled, but it was, it would have been painful for anyone who was in this trade, if anyone took this trade based on the opening range gap strategy, because you would have had to have a pretty high stop loss to have weathered the ups and downs of this. But technically, ICT price did make it to the 50% part. But I did not trade that strategy. That's not a strategy that I trade, but I do use it as confluence. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we call it a day. Let's hope for some better price action next week. And I wish everybody a great weekend, a fun weekend, get off the charts, or maybe you work full time and you need to spend some time studying. I wish you a good weekend, a fun weekend, and a restful weekend. So thanks for joining me. And I look forward to seeing everybody next week for a very good last week of March. Okay, everyone, take care. Peace.